Guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is not a video I wanted to film, but I'm filming it because I feel like some of you guys could maybe learn from the lesson that is to be taken from this. I am not going to be doing my makeup because it is just too inappropriate for me to do my makeup and sit here and act all giddy and, all energetic like I normally try to be for my actual story times. This is probably the most traumatic incident that's happened in my life. And please, if you guys are triggered to the topic of drugs, please click off this video. It is not for you. But anyways, on to the story of how I almost died. So the day that this whole incident happened was July 3rd, 2023. So it was a couple days ago. It's currently the morning of the 6th when I'm filming this. And we had to have my 4th of July party on the 3rd this year because my dad worked the night of the 4th and he couldn't take off because they'd cut from his pay. So we decided, you know what, we're going to have the party. We are going to invite a couple of my family members, not all of them because my family is huge and a lot of them we don't talk to. My neighbors who are like family to us, we invited them. And then I obviously invited Aiden, which is my boyfriend, and then I also happened to invite, my sisters and my cousins and all them, and everything was going fine. Me and Aiden were hanging out, and, we were just having a good time, trying to talk to everybody, and we were eating the cupcakes that my sister made, and basically just chilling with my niece, Violet, who is only 1 year old, and eventually he had to leave for a little bit, so I decided I'm going to go outside and I am going to chill with everyone else and I'm going to spend time with my family. So as soon as I got out there, one of my relatives, please don't bash them, they thought it was going to help me relax because they know I battle with PTSD, BPD, anxiety, depression, and all that good stuff. So they thought it would help me relax because, as I said, I have quite a few diagnoses, so they thought it would help me relax. So please don't bash them. I'm not going to say which relative it was for reasons, but yeah, this was not an intentional thing. Just keep that in mind. This was not an intentional, their intention was not to cause harm. But yeah, so they offered me a piece of chocolate. Let's just say there was stuff in this chocolate. Not anything crazy, but, 4-letter word. You guys know what it is. And it was about this tall to about this wide, I want to say. And I ate the whole thing because I thought that was how much you're supposed to eat. And no one realized at the time. I completely forgot. I take meds. As I said, I have a few mental issues going on, so I take meds for them. And I didn't remember at the time. I completely forgot I was on meds. And then no one else knew I was on meds. And my mom wasn't there at the time. So then after that, I go to my cousin, and he's in the pool, and I'm sitting there talking to him. I'm talking to him about everything going on because, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot going on in both our lives, and I don't really see my cousin that much. When I do, he's with Aiden's little siblings because they're all friends. So I was, just trying to catch up with him and see how everything was going, and that was basically that. And the next thing I remember was I went in the house, and I was talking to my sisters, and I was seeing the baby, and then all of a sudden, I just started laughing, and I just couldn't control it. Like, I just started laughing. I couldn't control it. I felt perfectly fine other than laughing. And I felt like a little bit, like, hazy, if that makes sense. So then I go outside, and keep in mind, a lot of the parts going forward are going to be what I was told. Not what I remember, what I was told, but a little bit of what I remember, because, of course, I do remember quite a few things from here, just not all the details. So, of course, I asked for help, and just kind of figured out from everybody who was there what kind of happened. So I go outside, I'm sitting on the back deck steps, and I'm still laughing. I'm laughing over some dumb thing on my phone. I can't even honestly remember what it was. And then all of a sudden I go up to my cousin and I'm like, look at this, like it's so funny. And I just remember I was sitting there just dying laughing. My stomach hurt because I was laughing so much and I just couldn't stop. And I felt like so weird. Like I was walking funny. Like I could barely stand up. And I was stumbling all over the place. And then my cousin is looking at me. He's like, are you alive? Like, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm alive. Trust me, I'm good. And all of a sudden I just started to feel like so even like more hazy and just more out of it. And so I'm like, and everyone's looking at me like, what happened? And around this time, word basically got around the party that I ate that chocolate. And thankfully, my dad didn't know at the time, but everything basically got foggy, and I felt like I woke up in the middle of the street. And when I woke up in the middle of the street, even though I know that's not what's happening, I was standing on my feet. It just felt like I woke up. I basically just blacked out from there, and I was with my aunt, both my sisters, my mom, and my grandmother. And according to my aunt and my sisters, and even my mom, all I kept crying for was my mom. I was like, Mom, Mom, even though she was right there. And then all of a sudden I see these kids that I've been having problems with. And it's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into it. But I apparently look over at my aunt and I'm like, you don't understand. You do not understand. They are going to kill me. They are circling the block. They're like trying to nonchalantly start stuff, basically. They keep going by and saying hi and staring at me, and then they keep going over to the corner and just staring over here. And I swear to God, I'm hearing my name. And I'm like, I look over my cousin and I put my hand on his shoulders. I'm like, am I hearing my name? Am I hearing my name? And I don't remember what he said. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no because, as I said, I do not remember what was said. And I'm not just going to make assumptions. And I had this strong feeling, this absolutely strong feeling, like this is the most strongest feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, that they were going to kill me. And so I'm freaking out because if they try anything, I cannot defend myself. Because at this point, I started to feel really dizzy. I couldn't snap out of it. I was really spacey and I was stumbling. I couldn't comprehend what was going on. I was barely forming coherent sentences. And so there's no way I would have been able to defend myself if someone came at me. And so I'm begging my aunt and my sisters. I'm like, please call the cops. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. You need to call the cops. You need to tell Aiden he's in danger and that they're after him and he needs to protect himself. You need to get a hold of him. He needs to get here now. And that was apparently what I was saying. As I said, I'm going from everybody's words, not mine, because I obviously don't really remember all that much detail. As I said, I do remember some things I don't remember. And my mom was like, they're not going to kill you. It's okay. And then all of a sudden, I knew something was wrong. I just felt so horrible. Like, I was so dizzy. My head was starting to pound and my stomach was starting to feel a little woozy. And then I could barely stand up. Like, I was falling all over the place. Like, just completely, like, just stumbling and everything. And I could barely hold my head up. And when these kids were coming up and down the street and saying hi to me and stuff, normally, like, me, now, I would have been like, hi, back and everything. But me, no. I was sitting there and I was like, I have photo and video evidence of all this happening too. Of the state I was in. This was my face. At around the same time I told you guys that I was like laughing with my cousin. I don't remember this picture being taken, but there it is. But as I said, after that, I started to feel worse. Like, around this time, I'm feeling really shitty. I just want to snap out of it. I hate this feeling. And my PTSD decides to spike. And I don't know what to do because I'm barely coherent. I cannot think for the life of me. No one knows what to do. Everyone's just standing there staring at me. And my aunt's talking to my mom. She's like, why did so-and-so give her that? And my mom's like, I don't know, but I'm going to find a way to get her in the house somehow. She needs to lay on the couch. I don't trust her going up the stairs. And I just remember I was so scared. Like, I literally thought I was going to die. And I was telling people, like, if you see Aiden, please tell him he's in danger. Please. Because he's in danger. Like, he's going to die. And that was the thing I was worried most about. Like, he was in danger and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't save him if something did happen because, first of all, I wouldn't be there because God knows what will happen. And second, it's not only that, but it's just like, I can't even defend myself right now. I couldn't even defend a rat if I wanted to. That's how out of it I was. And then I just started to feel really, like, sick and wobbly. And around this time, I also blacked out, and I remember, like, really, like, being held by my mom, and I think maybe someone else, I'm not sure, as I took my shoes off, and I flopped on the couch. I flopped on the couch, and I was just laying there in pain. At this point, my stomach started to hurt. It felt like, you know how there's, like, that heavy, like, pressure feeling on your chest sometimes? I felt that, but it was, like, 20 times worse than I've ever felt it. And it felt like there was something stuck in my throat. And it was also making my chest hurt worse. In my head, I was literally dizzy. And it was getting harder and harder to move my body. Like, I was just becoming weaker and weaker. Well, eventually, I went to sleep, but it was not that long. And I woke up, and I see Aiden didn't text me. And my eyes are barely open at this point, because I just couldn't stare at light. And it's like, I really couldn't text him. So I kind of, like, was half closing my eyes and just kind of winging it while I texted him. And then my arms just flopped right down. Like, they flopped right down. And I was like, Mom, please send that text. And then they're like, my dad is, like, looking over me. He's standing over me. And he's like, to my mom, he's like, I am furious. Look what so-and-so did to her. Why did they give her that? And I think I have to get an ambulance here and everything. And I'm like, an ambulance? And I'm like, they're going to kill me, though. Like, you need to call the cops. The cops. You need to call the cops. They are going to kill me. They're planning something. They are going to eliminate me out of the game of life. Please. Please call the cops. Like, I was begging them to call the cops. And the weird thing about this whole thing was that around the same time that I was basically laying with my whole body limp, begging for everyone to call the cops, my dad ended up finding in the next day in his phone contacts that the sheriff from my sister's county, well, one of my sister's county, basically the next county over, called him. And there was no record on his phone of him calling the cops before that or anything. The sheriff just randomly called him. It's weird. I don't even know what happened. I could have, I don't know. I don't even see how that would work. Apparently, around this time, I was also just saying Aiden's name in my sleep, and I was like, Aiden, please get him. He's in danger. And I'm like, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. Please help. And at this point, I lost control of my body. I could not move my body anymore. My body was limp. I was basically paralyzed. Like, I could not move anything. I could barely turn my neck, and I could just barely open my eyes, and that was basically it. And so my dad's like, you need to get some hydration in you. We're going to stay here. We're going to take care of you because clearly you're not okay. So he forces me to drink a juice, and he's like, little sips at a time. And I was scared because I thought I wouldn't be able to take the juice, and I would choke, and I would die. And I already felt like I was dying. Like, not only just because of the really strong feeling I had, but also because of how I felt. Like, I felt like I was dying. I felt like I was gonna die. I knew I was gonna die, and I was like telling people, like, listen, I'm gonna die. And so my mom's like trying to say I need food, and then all of a sudden I remember blacking out for a couple, and then I woke up and she had a bowl of like Paw Patrol soup. I don't know how I remember it was Paw Patrol soup, but it was Paw Patrol soup. And my dad basically had to hold my basically half lifeless body up at this point. And I was limp. And it hurt so bad to even sit up. I couldn't sit up straight. And I was in pain. So I told him, I'm like, listen, just drop me. Just let me go. I can't do this. And so he waits a minute. He tries again. And I'm basically half sitting up and he's holding me. I'm like this on the couch. And he's basically supporting my body because I couldn't do it on my own. Well, my mom puts a spoon up to my mouth and I slowly eat because I could barely move at the time. Somehow I did manage to safely digest, not digest, but get everything down. I don't know how I didn't choke. I was out of it. I thought I was gonna die, and Aiden was in danger, and there was nothing I could do about it. And that was the worst part because it's what if something happens to my family? What if someone does something to the house? What if something happens to me? What if something happens to Aiden? And all these thoughts were hurting me so bad, mentally, because it's if something did happen, I'm not in the right state of mind. I can't do anything. I cannot do anything. I can't even move my body. What am I gonna do? So I ended up getting a little bit of sleep, and then apparently I woke up calling for help. And so my parents rushed in, and my mom, and I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And she's like, okay, we're getting you up. And I'm like, good, because I need to go to the bathroom. So they basically guide my lifeless body through the house, and it hurts so bad to stand. My head is literally pounding. I'm dizzy times, I shit you not, at least 1,000. I'm too dizzy. I can't even open my eyes. I can't think straight. I can barely talk. I can't even move. And I'm just walking like a zombie at this point because it just hurts so bad to move. And all of a sudden, 6 times on the bathroom floor all at once, not going into detail. And then I remember my mom basically had to literally pull my jeans down for me. And then I sat on the toilet and I'm sitting there and I'm breathing heavy and I'm like, I can't do this. And I don't even remember, but I woke up to my mom wiping me because I know it's TMI, but I couldn't. I couldn't do anything. And I laid back down on the couch with a bowl while my dad, I'm pretty sure on this time he not fed me, but gave me more of the juice box that I was drinking. And then according to everyone, I was like, where did the soup go? Where did the soup go? And so I had a little bit more soup. And then I ended up eating that whole can of Paw Patrol soup and, according to my mom, a can of chicken and rice too. And then I didn't end up eating all the chicken and rice there because I fell asleep because I just couldn't stay awake anymore. I wanted to get up and I wanted to try and force myself to feel better, at least act like I felt better. But I was not finding anything funny. I was crying. I have been crying ever since I was outside in the driveway begging everyone to call 911. I was still begging people to call 911. And my parents were discussing 911 and calling them because of how I felt. They were my dad's yeah, we need to call 911. They might just give her Narcan, but looking back, I was like, isn't Narcan for narcotics? It would just make sense. I'm not sure. I'm completely unfamiliar with all that stuff, so please excuse me if I'm wrong. But I was I don't think that would help. I don't think that would help with what I took. And the whole thing was, I took it because I don't honestly even know. It was just a stupid, really, really stupid decision I make. And I do take accountability because no one held me down. No one forced it down my throat. I put it in my own mouth, basically. And yes, one of my relatives did offer me it, but I accepted it. And yeah, everyone forgot that I was on meds, but so did I. I also could have remembered I was on meds, but I didn't at the time. That wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind, honestly. And so my parents decided not to call the cops, but they texted that said person, and they were like, I don't see, and my mom was going off. She's like, you literally almost killed her. Like, we might have to get the ambulance here. Thankfully, we didn't. I remember around 11 o'clock, I woke up and my phone was ringing. I just woke up, and then I saw my phone ringing, and it was Aiden, so I answer it, and I'm like, he's like, hey, what's wrong? And I'm like, basically, you need to get here. Like, it's not pretty. So he gets here, and I just remember being so beyond relieved to see that he was okay. That was the only thing that mattered in the moment, because I thought, like, people were going to gang up on him and kill him, basically. That was the biggest thought going through my mind. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just glad to see him, but I also started to take notice that I feel a little bit better. I mean, I can move a little bit more. It doesn't hurt as bad. My stomach doesn't really hurt anymore. The dizziness has let up quite a bit, but definitely still there. The headache, not there that much, and the chest pain definitely died down. It no longer feels like something is stuck in my throat. So I'm like, Mom, where did the rest of my chicken and rice go? And so she gives me the soup. I eat it because, well, I ate it, but my dad wasn't awake anymore. So Aiden basically kind of helped me eat, and so did my mom. And so he's sitting there, and this was the video he caught.
Who's high?
Me.
You shouldn't take chocolate from your sister.
But yeah, I just remember while he was in the kitchen talking to my mom as they were like cleaning my dishes and everything, I remember hearing someone literally right outside the living room window, literally right underneath it, like start making like creepy like siren noises with their mouth. Like, it sounded like a person, and the thing that freaks me out is I still don't know if this actually happened or if I was just hallucinating, because I feel like I was kind of hallucinating a lot. Like, I kept hearing my name when I was outside. I kept hearing my name be called, and I was like, yo, and I was like to my cousin, I was like, yo, like, is that my name? Is that my name? And as I said, I'm not making any assumptions. I don't know if it was or not. But as I said, I ended up hearing someone make a really creepy, like, sounds outside the window, basically. And so I scream, and then Aiden and my mom come running in, and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, like, there's someone outside the window. Like, I'm fucking terrified. And keep in mind that feeling still hasn't gone away. It's died down just a tad bit, but it didn't go away. And I remember while Aiden was there, I was like kind of blacking in and out and like falling asleep for a second, then waking back up. And then somehow I ended up with potato chips in my hand. I'm pretty sure it was in the video that I played for you guys. But yeah, I basically had potato chips in my hand, and I was just munching on them because I was still hungry. And I remember my mom saying she's eating more, which is a good thing, and it looks like we're not going to have to send her to the hospital, because they were going to. They were worried about me. I don't remember this, but Aiden told me that long ago. I think it was, literally a couple hours ago, because it's like, 3 in the morning right now? So he was here a couple hours ago, and he told me, he was like, yeah, basically, I was making a joke calling you an astronaut and everything, and I'm like, I don't remember that. I do not remember that at all. And he left at 12:30 that night, and I just remember, like, as soon as he left, I was like, hey, like, can you go grab my charger from upstairs so I can charge my phone, because I cannot move. Like, I cannot move. And my mom did not want me sleeping upstairs anyway, because she wanted to keep an eye on me. So he grabs my charger, and then I'm like, can you also put Storm on the couch with me? And so after that, he leaves, and I just remember right after that, I fell right asleep. Like, I was out, and I want to say I woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and my dad basically being like, yo, like, you need to get upstairs because I feel really sick, so I kind of need to, like, sleep on the couch just in case. And so I'm like, okay. So I somehow managed to get back up the stairs, and I was feeling more better than I had when Aiden was there, definitely. I wasn't dizzy anymore, but I also wasn't completely coherent, and I couldn't think the straightest, and I was still definitely hazy, and my stomach hurt a little bit, and a headache. There was definitely a headache there, but I somehow managed to plug in the system for myself, and then I grabbed Storm, went to bed, and I woke up in the morning, and everything was fine, except for when I went downstairs, I was basically getting the whole rundown of the night and what happened. But yeah, my relative that gave that to me ended up texting my mom back, and they were like, I am so sorry, like, this was not my intention to make her feel bad. I know she struggles a lot and has a lot of anxiety too, and so I thought it would help her relax, and I did not know she was on medications. And I am not blaming that relative. Absolutely not. They did not shove that down my throat. They did not force me to take it. They gave me the option, and I took it. So I am, I would say, about 85% at fault for this because I took it, and then the rest is that relative's fault for even offering me that in the first place. I would I shit you guys not, I will never, ever, ever, like, even think about even touching alcohol, because it's like, now I'm scared of anything like that. Like, I saw what that did to me, and no, that is not something I want to experience again. I am not taking those chances. No, thank you. I guess the most traumatizing part about it wasn't, like, necessarily the way that I was physically feeling, but the way I was mentally feeling. Like, I was so out of it, and I couldn't defend myself, and I believed, like, I knew, I confirmed it in my head and everything, that I was going to die that night. And then seeing how worried my parents were, and then, like, seeing, like, Aiden's reaction and everything, that was the part that hurt me the most. And then also thinking that, like, something's going to happen to my family and something's going to happen to Aiden and I can't do anything. It was literally horrible, and it's not something I wish upon anyone. I just want to say, if you guys ever think about, like, taking chocolates like that or just anything like that, like, just for the fun of it, because I know some of it can be used for, like, medical problems or something, but if you ever think about taking chocolate just for the fun of it and you're on medications or anything, do not. And I know I forgot I was on medications, and I need to start reminding myself and being more mindful of the fact that I am on medications and I cannot be doing that type of stuff, especially. I just feel like, I don't know, like, I just should have been more mindful of it, and it's something to keep in the back of my mind in case something like this ever happens again, so I can prevent this whole situation from happening again. This was not the way I wanted to spend my 4th of July party, but also at the same time, as I said, I agree to take it. Also, do not be bashing my parents for this. My parents did not know of this, and my parents would definitely not approve. So yeah, it's not my parents' fault. They literally would not do that to me or give me anything like that. So yeah, but anyways, this is the end of today's video. Definitely not like my normal type of video, I guess you could say, but yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It is literally like 3:05 in the morning. I need to get some rest. Actually, I can't though, because I'm literally pulling an all-nighter. So I think I'm just gonna sit down at the kitchen table and do my nails. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah, bye guys.